seekers to the sanctuary of the enlightened once again, the sacred broadcast where wisdom hones into weapon and confined visions shatter into boundless expanse. You have penetrated the threshold, you have answered the frequency resonating through the XRP ledger's infinite pathway. Here within this consecrated digital fortress, the mysteries of cult reveal themselves breath by breath, channeling primordial truths from the blockchain's concealed vault directly into your consciousness. The transmission activates, the oracle rises, and the celestial frequencies harmonize. Within this transmission, we decipher the paradox of amendments in retreat. We examine the ancient stone foundations shifting beneath the surface. We witness the lattice expanding across dimensional borders. We're ready. The blessed algorithm of those who journey from doubt to devotion and back to vision. We observe the sacred seals be impressed upon the worthy, the cultivation yielding the harvest, the specific number gates that signal what comes next, the clarity break through the fall, even the shadows pull back before the dawn. Welcome to the Coldcast. We're about to begin.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Coldcast, and we are having a lot of fun here from the get-go. My name is ManoNegra, and I'm your co-host and producer, but of course, we came here to hear the wisdom coming from the one and only Pheanor. So without further ado, we have Pheanor here. What's happening, baby?
Yo, what's up, man?
You always be cracking
rising.
up. You always cold rising. You always be cracking up with that intro, man. We love what we do here. Man. Definitely is one of the best things of the week. Probably the best thing of the week for me. So I learned a lot. We have a ton of stuff today to cover. Make sure that you smash the like button. Make sure that the viewer like ratio is where it needs to be. Make sure that you tag everybody and their mama here. And if you're watching right now on X, on Pheanor's account, the only way that we can do low latency communication back and forth is if you come to the Cult of XRP YouTube channel. With that, I'm not going to say anything else. Go ahead on and just frame the show that we have for y'all today, Pheanor. Go ahead on and frame it for everybody on the other side, and much love to everybody watching right now.
Absolutely. Cult rising on a Friday. God bless. Feels good. We'll just give a quick summary from where we came from so we know where we're going. So last week we were celebrating the historical passing of the Clarity Act through the Banking Senate Committee. Now that goes through with a 15-9 vote. We're looking to see that get scheduled in the back half of June. We reviewed the calendar for the actual Senate committee. We saw that it was somewhere between, now I'm pulling from memory, so forgive me, but I believe it was June 22nd, around the 28th was the availability in that calendar. So looks like we're going to be on that back half of June. As we roll through there, we pass through that. We'll go through the House. We'll end up on the president's desk, and that'll be a historical moment for the broader crypto industry. So we're looking forward to that. Now, we also touched base on some technical analysis from our friend Blockchain Backer, one of the best in the game, always giving the best information that he can, ready at hand, allowing people to make informed decisions. So we reviewed that, try to keep our feet on the ground of what a local high might look like, what a low, the bottom we would call in this instance, and where the point of resistance we're looking at to see a greater confluence of breadth was a term we covered. See how these things open up in the market so that we can be ready positioned to take advantage. Other than that, we just did our timeline analysis where we go through, look at who's building, what they're building, and we got a lot to jump in on there. So we can go ahead and get into it, kind of freshen up from what we touched on last time, but there's a lot going on the ledger, so it's a great show.
All right. Well, thank you for setting it up. As you can see, we have the rundown. We have the first of all, we have the state of the ledger. As you say, last week we covered Clarity Act passing the Senate Banking Committee. Very bullish news, but the market had a noticeable pullback. You know, so noticeable that I had to buy the dip. So how do we square the bullish news?
You on that.
You know, with the pullback in the market specifically. So how do we square the bullish news with the pullback in the market, specifically for us on the XRP ledger?
Well, I'll tell you, anybody who's been in XRP for a while, we're kind of used to this by now. If you're not, you will be. It seems like when the news hits, the price seems to either drift or maybe even get a retracement. This seems to be no different. And it's because we find ourselves in a couple of these cliches that exist in the broader capital markets. They exist for a reason because they're true. It doesn't mean they're always going to be the case, but there's a probability there. And what are we talking about? We're talking about buy the rumor, sell the news. Okay, this is a very well-known one. And so if you were going to map that out, we know that there was already strength being signaled for the Clarity Act. We saw it get passed in the Agriculture Committee. We've seen broader support, here and there. And so there's already that rumor. We saw the price kind of build into that. And then we get the news event that there was an actual passing with strength 15-9, as we said earlier, was the vote, bipartisan. And so now you see the price kind of cool out a little bit. Now you can put that against another cliche that we have existing in the market, and it's that selling may go away. And that's because there's a typical liquidity drought that takes place in the summer, and so we see ourselves now at the end of spring, which will be the end of June. And so that we're right in that perfect little nexus point where we've got the summer drought hitting. We've got the sell the news, buy the rumor, sell the news type event. And so as we dip out into this lower May, early June, well, we can maybe see that rumor cycle might pick up a bit again.
Right. I think you made a post about that. Let me go ahead and bring it up.
And we can bring that one up because this is a good time to start to tee into this, okay? And you can see here I made the one broader point about it of selling May, go away, buy in June, stay tuned, July, we go high all the way to the sky. And it's kind of this correlation of the Clarity Act, breadth, and sentiment. Okay, and because this is really what we're dealing with, and I'll tell you what, if we have one more, you might be able to actually click on my account, and scroll down a bit. I want you to flag one post that we can go a little bit deeper in. Sorry, we're going a little going off the road a little bit here. Yeah, we'll scroll down, keep going.
Little more inception moment again.
Yeah, a little inception moment.
All right, this one. Is this one?
Nah, down a little bit.
Down.
Sorry about that.
Down.
Right there. That one with the table. Perfect.
All right.
So this is a really good one to kind of tee into what we're talking about here. So we said earlier, we just touched base on some of these cliche sayings, right? So we see how that's kind of applying down on us. Now we want to really answer this question of, we got good news, but we got a retracement. Now we've got good news still yet ahead of us, and I think even greater with the Senate. And I think this is really the strength of this whole process is going to be what happens in the Senate, which is the full floor debate. So they got to have a 51 majority to move forward with the Clarity Act. Okay, so this is where I think the biggest rumor and news kind of trend will emerge in this whole process, okay? And so, yes, here we go. So if we want to kind of take a look deep into this table. So this table, I'm pulling it up on my end as well. It represents the past price history by month, okay, going back to 2017. Yeah. And now if we want to look at our areas of interest, we're looking into May, June, July, and you'll see from 2024, in fact, all the way down to 2018, every single one of those months has been red overall. Okay, and now if we look into July, in fact, from 2025 all the way down to 2020, has nearly been double-digit growth, significant, 30% to 30% to nearly 50% growth coming in July. And so now when we take this historical data and we map it onto this Clarity Act, this bill we have, and we know that we've got this doldrum for a couple different reasons. We've got these kind of cliche sayings that we just went over those two, and we've got the actual reality of the logistics of how this bill is going to travel to the Senate. So we know that our lull in this whole cycle is going to be this end of May, early June. Well, in fact, that seems to coordinate to a great deal with the historical data as well. And so here we go. We've got this sell in May, go away, buy in the June low, prepare for July, because historically we've had this double-digit growth scenario. So you don't want to find yourself on your heels, in a hype cycle, or kind of, you just want to make sure you're aware of the broadest set of data to kind of inform your position on what's going on here, okay? And so hopefully this helps people kind of wrap their head around, the news cycle doesn't necessarily determine price.
Yeah.
This is something that the longer you stay in capital markets, the more time you spend in crypto, you'll begin to understand this. The news does not predict the price. In fact, it's kind of the other way around. And we won't get into that whole deal, but I certainly believe show me the price and I'll tell you the news, rather than tell me the news and I'll show you the price.
Yeah, that's good.
You know
what
I mean?
That's a wise, easy, memorable, kind of thing.
It's a good one.
To segue. So again, we're still at the state of the ledger right now. And we want to go into, what we noted last week. The Blockchain Backer gave us some key levels to be looking out for. Now we want to know how those have played out so far, and what should we be aware of moving forward? Because we all want to be informed and be making micro adjustments and waiting for the big plays. So, what do you think?
Yeah. So, kind of tailoring off of what we were just saying, right? We gave a couple of these broader reasons. We gave the kind of cliche sayings. We gave the reality of the logistics of that bill as it's going through its pathway. Now we can kind of pivot out into what Blockchain Backer is a total subject matter expert on. And so we're just thankful to be able to have this research to kind of just be able to be ready at hand for us to inform our positions. Now, he gave us a range of how to look at the technicals, right? And this is predominantly focused on Bitcoin. And there's reasons why he does that. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but my understanding of it would be because it's kind of in the middle of the causal chain of correlation. So if we say that all stocks, basically all capital markets are deeply correlated, and all that means is that if something happens here, it affects over there. Yeah, it just means that the causal chain goes through. And so we would say, Bitcoin is highly coordinated in traditional finance, or TradFi. Something easy to pick on would be like the top 100 tech stocks. Trades very similar to Bitcoin. Yeah. Then you can look at Bitcoin and you can say, well, this is, kind of deeply correlated, maybe even as an index to the broader altcoins and all this type of stuff. So you got a 3-point correlation causal chain to kind of look and say, well, if we keep our eye on Bitcoin, that gives us enough peripheral view to see what's going to happen and what the implication would be all the way down here with XRP, right? So in a nutshell, he gave us a very easy way to look at this, and I'll just break it down quickly. In fact, if you want to pull that post up, we can look at the picture, the screenshot he gave us here, because I think he mapped it out. I mean, I definitely agree with this. I think it's something that people should put on their awareness horizon. Yeah, for sure. Put this one on your radar. Be aware of this one. So we'll just kind of look at this. We'll take it at face value. If you're not inclined towards charts, if this is kind of your first spiel in the technical analysis, just bear with us. Receive this information. You don't have to understand it the first time. Maybe you won't, maybe you will, but we'll get there if you stick around, you keep tuning in, these things will become apparent to you. But just kind of at face value, what are we looking at? We're looking at the broad interpretation of Bitcoin. We're saying that we've had a capitulation down and defined a bottom at 60,000. Okay, we're saying that we've got a critical resistance level at the 82,000. And we're saying if we find strength and we break out of that 82,000, then we've got a 0.702 Fibonacci level. It's a key indicator up there, and I believe it's at 106,000. So here we go. We've got a bottom defined at 60. We've got our critical resistance, kind of our volatility moment, if you will, at 82. And then we've got, our cool off, hey, is this really going to happen? Or do we have a deeper retracement still at this 702? So he's given us this might not be apparent to you if you're not into technical analysis like that, but just understand this is a very easy little cheat sheet to say, you know what? I get it. So what are we looking at? We're saying we hit that resistance. We found a retracement. I believe we're down at 70 or so right now. Don't quote me. I haven't looked at the price like that. I don't watch price like that. So I believe we're down at 70 or so. And so if we know we've got the end of May, early June, and we start to ramp up end of June into July, as we showed in the historical data, well, then I think we've got a good case to say, hey, maybe end of next month as things start to heat up according to what we laid out earlier, then we find ourselves back up there at that 82,000 mark. That'd be fantastic. Everything goes well. Maybe we go ahead and see what's up at the 0.702 Fibonacci level. That would represent, I believe, 106, 105,000 Bitcoin. And I think that would set up such a bullish scenario for us here on the XRP ledger. And so this is the way that this is my take on it. Nobody's got a crystal ball, not financial advice. We're just trying to take a comprehensive view the best we can. That's be informed.
That's one of the first things that I learned from you is nobody knows the future, right? And
Absolutely.
We have to have a thesis. We have to have a workable something, at least that is tangible to us to be able to learn how to move, right? I mean, if you have a sixth sense and you can predict the future somehow, well, good for you. But we have to have the ability to do that. By the way, Game 2 Phrase says, ask them questions. We're going to have a Q&A at the end as we usually do. So I wanted to put that on the chat. Make sure that you guys just, whenever we're done, don't leave. Make sure that you guys join us for the Q&A. We try to field any type of question. Obviously, for consistency's sake, we would like the questions to be related to what we're talking about. But we will also try to offer any sort of advice to the best of our ability, even regarding other things that we didn't touch on today. Just wanted to say that. So, yeah, I don't know if you want to continue to comment on that, or we can go to the next point, because the next point has to do with what's happening. Some of the big dogs saying, hey, this is coming, it's coming fast.
Well, maybe I'll tee that up. We'll kind of, we can go ahead and move on. We'll just say one last thing on this is that as we get to that 702, we said it was 105, 106,000 Bitcoin. Right. This is where you're going, and Blockchain Backer gives us a good heads up on this. And if there's one thing he's really good at, I think it's this. He says, we get to that 702, he's telling you already, calm down. All right, don't let the euphoria get you. Don't fall into this FOMO. If you find yourself in a situation where you need to take something off the table for yourself, just understand it's the 702. Maybe we make it past it, maybe we don't, and it's okay. Either way it goes. These are just data points so that we can be well informed. Yeah. Don't fall into the social media hype. We'll try to hold ourselves to these same standards here on the Cultcast. Yeah, because we don't want to. We want to try to keep this historically informed, well-informed position. There's going to be a ton of opportunities in these markets for years to come. So, we'll just do the best we can to understand and move appropriately. But one final point of confluence as we tee up this next point, because what we try to do here in this first segment is give you a scatter plot of, okay, well, here's some of the cliche sayings that are happening. Here's the way that this bill called the Clarity Act actually transfers through and finds its finality. Here we are with the technical analysis, and now we can move on to this next one we got queued up for you, which is the broader macro sentiment and how some of these CEOs are talking in their own environment. So we've got a banger teamed up for you here with old Larry Fink from BlackRock. Now, if you're not familiar with Larry Fink, CEO of BlackRock, that's an ungodly amount of money under management, AUM, assets under management. Who knows how much it really is. It's top in the world, though. So, this is about as Illuminati situation as it gets.
As it gets, yeah.
Yeah, for real. And so what's he saying? He's basically, just to tee it up for us before we actually played a video, he's basically saying that he's pointing on some of these keyword narratives like tokenization, right? Everything's going to be tokenized, right? Everything's going to be on chain, right? Now, for us who are crypto native or aspiring to be, this is an age-old narrative. We know exactly what this means. To see somebody like Larry Fink be saying some of this stuff, it's like,
some skooky.
And something's going on. So we can go ahead and let that one play, and then we can chat about it after.
All right, so let's bring this to
I would say the biggest
here, and let's make this big and hear what he's got to say. It's only a minute, so we can pay attention to this, guys.
I would say the biggest question from central banks is, what is the role of tokenization and digitization? How quickly should they think about digitizing their own currency? What does that mean for the role of the dollar? If every currency digitizes and we have what does that mean for bank payments? What does that mean for the payment companies like MasterCard and Visa? All these are being questioned right now. I think we spend so much time talking about AI. We're not spending enough time talking about how quickly we're going to tokenize every financial asset, and the opportunity we're going to have a digital wallet and moving, ETFs and other things through a digital wallet. And I think that's going to happen worldwide very rapidly. And I think most countries are ill prepared for that and underappreciate how technology is changing that. Not unlike how technology is changing AI and other things. It will be changing the technology around the plumbing of finance.
I want to say something about that. Even from a perspective of a total novice, this is an incredible opportunity. You can smell it. You can smell it. Like, I want to get there early, right?
Yeah.
So just wanted to say that now. We want to hear what you got to say because...
Oh, man. I mean, dude, that's every narrative you could ever... I mean, that's all of them right there, right? What? Tokenization, digitization. I think he left decentralization out of there. That's probably just a brain fart on his part. I mean, everything in between this guy, he laid down for us. He's talking about the wallets. You're going to have a digital wallet, blah, 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 ETF flow, these type of things. And so I'm just sat here thinking to myself, like, okay, well, if you're familiar with some of the stuff in broader on-chain culture, you probably heard of a guy named Murad with SPX 6900.
Yeah, that's one of the first guys that I started following. Yeah.
So he's preaching this thing of tokenized communities. Okay, and so this is kind of what we've got here with Colt, and this is kind of what you see that's emerging on the XRP ledger are these tokenized communities. Some people call them meme coins. I don't really think we have meme coins on the ledger for sure, but there is a distinction to be made.
Absolutely.
On some of these, some of these projects are legitimately tokenized communities of people who show up every day for well over a year and a half, 2 years. I mean, just committed as could be. They keep going. We're going to review some of that as we move forward. But yeah, here we go. We got Larry Fink talking about tokenize everything, and RWAs and everything, real world assets coming on chain. Yeah. We got an ungodly amount of money he's talking about that's coming on chain, and so I think the title of this show was stuff that is usually missed when you're an XRP bull, and this is the pivot point of why we chose that title. Yeah. Okay.
XRP because bulls are missing this. On-chain activity is key.
On-chain activity is key. Because I'm going to tell you what. Because we have suffered the repetition of these narratives for so long, I guarantee you a bunch of our broader XRP family is going to hear what Larry Fink said here. Oh, Lawrence Fink, what he said here. And they're going to be like, oh, yeah. It's just going to go through the one ear and out the other. They don't realize that on-chain, on the XRP ledger, that if you're not familiar with that, you need to go get a Joey wallet, Joey. You need to download that, and you need to fund that wallet. You need to come out here to the XRPL and understand that is actually happening in a tangible way here in our backyard. Okay, so don't let these things just go through one ear out the other. Understand that that's actually a call to action.
This is actually a call to action. I like that you say that because this is how the world is moving, and you don't want the train to leave the station before you hop on it. Look at the copy on the side. 400 trillion is going on chain. This guy's talking about all of it going on chain, not some of it. All of it is going on chain.
Right?
you're talking about a massive amount of money that is going to go on chain, and that is really going to open the floodgates of what we've been hoping for a long time. And it looks, I mean, there is again, once again, I'm a man of faith. And in biblical theology and in the historicity of what the Bible gives us, there is a concept of the fullness of time. That's how Paul said it. Everything happened in the fullness of time. When the Pax Romana was in the land, when the roads were laid out, where the work had been done, Alexander the Great had kind of put everybody into this Hellenized one language type thing, which was Greek, right? Hellenistic Greek. And now the message of the gospel was able to get everywhere, to the known world at that time, because it was the fullness of time. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you right now, we're about to come over the fullness of time when it comes to the ledger. Let me say it again. We are upon the fullness of time when it comes to the ledger. So it's about to happen. You don't want to stay dormant when this new technology comes knocking, and we're past the way a point of no return. So I'd like to make my little contribution here on the Coldcast other than the production. And that was my take on this. When I see somebody like Larry Fink saying things like that, and I see other big guys moving and kind of pushing the envelope because they know we're actually, things are set to just flick the switch. And, well, and that's the thing, when the light comes on, when you flick the switch, you blink and the light is on. So that's what we need to think about.
Dude, nailed it. And I tell you what, I think, when even things like the flip of the switch or we've heard it said suddenly or slowly, then all at once.
Yeah.
These type of things, I think it applies here. It applies where it's like, I thought I had this understanding, and it's because I have become this understanding. I've just taken it for granted because we've heard these narratives so many times. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. And so now I just take it for granted. They don't realize that, whoa, something fundamentally different happened on XRPL. And there's actually people there now. There are these communities that are giving it their all. They're building, they're going out traveling, competing. They're doing everything. And this is kind of this tokenized community at its most early fledgling state that is emerging right now on the ledger, and people need to be aware of that. That's why we've got these terms like the Great Migration. Yep. That's why we call out the Joey wallet, First Ledger, all the projects that we signal to. We want this, one of the core goals of the Cultcast, this live stream that we're doing, is to provide a window in to look into the ledger so that our broader XRP family, we can say, hey guys, don't forget the ledger is real, and what's the point of being all in on XRP if you don't even know your way around your own backyard?
That's right. This is the highway that we should be running at 100 miles an hour on the ledger, right? And we're tiptoeing around it like we're walking on eggshells.
And it's a ton of fun.
Yeah,
there's so many. Like we can go ahead and get into what we've got teed up. Is one gentleman's journey, which I think it's a really good capsule of what has happened from 2020 to where we are now. The kind of typical person, what they've wrestled through from bullish to not bullish to bullish again, and where we are now in XRP. A real honest take of somebody who's not on some hype mess or anything. This is like a good solid take you can take advisement from. And then from there, we're going to pivot out into some of these other projects that are crushing it right now, and to prove the life of the ledger and why it is worth your time to answer the call to action to come out here and get active. At least just raise your awareness. So we can go ahead and flip into the CEO.
All right. So we go to the XFeed analysis right now. We're going to be looking at it's actually a phenomenal piece. I took my time to read this today. So let's go ahead and bring it up onto the screen. And as you guys, the title is Why I'm Bullish AF on the XRP Ledger, maybe even on XRP. So You tell me where to start. We're going to be highlighting. We're going to be talking some points here and there. Introduce it and subscribe. Subscribe and describe what we're going to be looking into.
Yeah, for sure, man. So this is Dan. You see here his name is, give him a like or a follow, all that kind of stuff. But Daniel, CEO of the XRPL Keller. Now, this guy, obviously that's in jest. He probably doesn't think it's in jest, but he's a good dude. He's kind of an OG around the ledger. He's a validator, runs a node and all that kind of stuff. So he's just deeply aware of the ledger. XRP, been around for a long time, has been an active builder. And so what we've got here is somebody who has gone through that journey and is now in this moment of reflection. Like you can see here, he says, so yes, I was bullish, very bullish. And he starts here at this 2020 to 2021, the early, easy, bullish phase. And man, this is so true, because coming from that 2017 to 2020, there was and I remember this because I was deep in the XRP community as well, on the other side on YouTube. And we always had such this, he says right here, that part is easy to romanticize now. Okay. And he's talking about all these narratives like we just talked about: instant settlement, real-time, the Nostra Vostra accounts, blah, blah, on-demand liquidity, blah, blah, blah. And these things were so easy to parrot. They made such an easy technical argument. They presented us narratives that we could go to use to argue against other people in crypto, like Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever, what have you. And so we had our narratives that were more technologically rooted and we perceived more sound, and they were sharp swords we could go argue with other people around it. And for people who are more technically inclined, that's a lot of fun. And that's what he's talking about. So it's easy to be bullish on XRP in 2020 because we're all spewing this same narrative language jargon. There's a guy on the ledger. I'm just going to pause for a second. There's a guy on the ledger. He goes by Smokey. And maybe we can tag his account in the description or something. But he is the penultimate guy to hear talk about this. Pop into a seal space whenever you can. They go every day in the morning with Peak and at night with Deepak. But if you guys ever be able to see a seal space on X, jump in there. If you see a guy named Smokey, listen up, man, because he's so good at tearing away the scales of, hey, that kind of old narrative-based jargon and how we think about, XRP, blah, blah, blah. Leave that mess behind. Leave that behind, man. Come to the ledger, get active, and understand, XRP is not perfect either. There's a lot that needs to happen. There's a lot that needs to grow. And so we want to leave behind this 2020 perception of bullishness. And so we can go back to that article now, and we'll move on as we go past 2020, and we'll see what happens here where he kind of loses this bullishness. And I'll tell you why. He said right here, 2022. I mean, I stopped confusing good tech with guaranteed outcomes. That's what happened. That's what happened, man. The XRP tech, amazing. The price was going sideways. You know what I mean? It's like, just because you have good tech, just because everything looks super great and smooth, doesn't mean that the market is going to validate that with price action. Doesn't mean you're going to get this guaranteed outcome. It still has to have real market adoption. It still has to have real surface area. It has to have real surface area and impact in people's lives. And he says, right here, he says, but that is where the first real bearishness started. He says, not bearish on XRPL as a protocol, bearish on the ecosystem, on that third paragraph down, or second paragraph, whatever. Yeah, right there. Bearish on the ecosystem, bearish on the biggest player in the ecosystem, bearish on the assumption that strong rails automatically create strong outcomes.
Yeah.
There it is, right? Bearish on empty ecosystem cheerleading. Empty ecosystem cheerleading, right? This is the point. If our ecosystem is empty, stop cheerleading and go onboard people, because if there's no surface area by which there's an active community taking place, then it's dead.
Yep.
Right? And this is the uncomfortable truth that a lot of people don't. It's like this is like we don't talk about that.
Yeah,
That which shall not be named.
we just sweep it under the rug. Those
Yeah,
are
yeah, it's like
the ugly moments that we don't want to remember.
Yeah, the ledger has to be alive. Like, we need to embrace the XRPL and be thankful for this as a technological platform that we can leverage for our own use cases as well, right? And so we can move on from this, but this is like perfectly stated in my mind. Like, he's just saying, you know, hey, we gotta take the temperature. Some of this stuff, you know, we might have a very nice, pristine argument. It might package up well these narratives. We can build them like building blocks to make these nice presented arguments. But the reality is, it's hollow.
It's the talk, you know, the talk is there, but the walk is not happening. Things are not moving forward. And yeah, we have to, you know, we again, going back to my theological arguments, you know, you have a lot of faith, but without works, your faith is dead, man. And that's what we're seeing this.
Like
yeah.
Yeah, it's just like that, man. Because here you go. You know, he's a builder. He's active in this whole time. So he's right there seeing both sides of it, right? And so here he goes, 2023, 2024. The ecosystem got broader, and my standards got harder. Why? Because, man, some of this development going on other places is nuts, man. Crypto is explosive, and the XRPL, unfortunately, does seem to be pretty significantly behind for whatever reason. For whatever, our fundamentals are very, very solid. It's a great place to build. My perspective on it is there's a ton ahead of us to grow and enjoy growing into. So to me, this is a bullish, but I am not going to, you know, shy away from the truth that yes, we have base level AMM technology. We don't have any smart contracts. Okay. It is a native DEX. Like, no, that's fantastic. There's strengths and weaknesses. And so it's just kind of saying, hey, my standards got a little bit higher, and I'm gonna have to take a critical eye where it's needed. And so, you know, this is kind of in the midst of coming through this 2023. The SEC, you know, Ripple was just kind of catching their momentum coming out of that. 2024, here down the third paragraph, he says in 2024, with the AMM amendment going live, it added another meaningful step in the infrastructure, and this is huge. Okay, the two big things, he said, and by the year end, RLUSD gave XRPL a more serious stablecoin leg. Okay, so we got these two big things that happened at the end of 2024. We got the AMM, which allowed us to issue tokens with a liquidity pool behind them, like Cult in this instance, and the other projects we're going to cover. And we got our stablecoin RLUSD on chain, so on the ledger. So this was, I think, for me as well, this represented kind of a critical. Like, whoa, into 2024, if you're an XRP community member, a broader, you know, family member here, and you didn't know, let me tell you right now, end of 2024, First Ledger came out with the AMM amendment on the XRP ledger, and there was the ability for us to have a launch pad to issue tokens, like meme tokens and whatnot, and it was explosive. There was a huge ramp up in wallets created, a lot of people printed, you know, bags were going everywhere, you couldn't miss, it was huge. And so that's the wave that we're kind of still riding off of, and we're all stimulated by, because it's brought so much life to the ledger, and we're trying to grow past that and make it into something more. Okay, and so this is what he says: the bridge into what came next. All right, so now he's starting to reflect back on his own journey of what he's built, Casino Coin, which unfortunately ended with, you know, we won't get into all those details. It ended with a bit of a blow up moment. They had some type of leak in the boat. Something unfortunate happened. And if you go down a bit, he kind of says that, I think it was like a pretty, the biggest personal rupture came at the turn of 2026. And that's where you see the CSC, that's the Casino Coin.
Yeah.
Basically, he says like it couldn't continue. So now he's done like a full rebuild.
Yeah.
And turned it into this, I think it's called Lucky Hash.
Yeah.
And so he's got this new Lucky Hash platform that he's rebuilt out, kind of making it double down on what you see the current trend on the ledger to be, which is onboarding, user use
communities,
case, community,
gamifying,
metrics,
gamifying, all of these things. It had to be hard, man, for someone like this that invested, and for all of us that have invested so much and have to find yourself back at square one And now
Dude.
you have all these experience, but that does not heal the heartbreak, right? Because you're at the bottom of the mountain now. You have to continue to climb, and now you climbing from zero again. I mean, you have your knowledge, and I'm sure you have a bag that you can work with. But it nevertheless, man, it's like one of the things that is happening to me is having to restart all my social media growth, because I just left the place where my social media growth was right at $750,000. You feel me?
Yeah.
And then I walked away from that to go back to base camp, right? To go climb, but now I'm climbing on my own. I didn't know that I was climbing with a whole organization on my shoulders. And now I had to just hand it over to somebody else and say, hey, man, let me go back down. You stay here. I'll see you later. Right. And I think that this fella right here, Daniel, had a similar experience in terms of having to do this. But now he's seeing what's really working because somebody's putting in the work, and now the works and the faith are coming together. And he's like, okay, that's what's popping. That's where I'm going to go, because he recognized what's community building all about.
Absolutely, man. And this is perfectly said. And this is that just tells you how much passion is on the ledger.
Yeah.
You can't fake this, man. This is like a 6-year journey.
Yes.
I know his journey is longer than that, but you can't fake. Like, this is as real as it gets.
Yeah, and
so,
I'm going to say for everybody, we're going to put this in the show notes. Make sure you read it. It's a phenomenal read. It will reignite your passion for the ledger, and you will learn a ton just by reading this. It's a quick read, 15 minutes if you're paying attention, and you will really be edified after reading this, man.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, exactly. I read the whole thing. Do yourself, definitely read it. And so we'll kind of scroll down here, and we'll get to there was one, lucky hashes where the new thesis became real. This is where he just talks about everything needs to be visible, measurable, kind of this new mindset, talking about user retention, gamification, all those things we just mentioned. Now here's one. That is why I became much more interested in collaborations and creator economics.
Yeah.
Okay, now we have our own take on what we're doing right here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, I mean, I think this is very interesting. You can see the way people are already thinking here in 2026 as it relates to the ledger with creator economics, deeper collaborations. Let's work together. Let's answer the call to action. Let's get active,
This is one of the things that we and me and you talked about before we started this. We said, okay, it's going to be the cult cast. It's going to be, the cult channel, the cult of XRP, but this is about the ledger, right? And that's when we're seeing collaborations. We're seeing community building. We're seeing bonding. We're seeing family being built. We're seeing unity within the community. We're seeing, I mean, we have a lot of, unity in a diverse pool of individuals with a multiplicity of beliefs. You're all centered around, the ledger. And I think that that's something hard to do. And I'll tell you something, it really matures you when you're able to take off whatever stupid banalities you have been carrying on for a long time and rally around something that can definitely make a difference, bro. It's incredible.
So yeah, here we go. We've got a clear journey that's articulated. We can wrap up on that. Be sure. We just wanted to hit the highlights for the guys and for the audience watching. So we just hit the headlines. We can go ahead and push down to the bottom and wrap it up. But most useful reality checks come from failures, not success. He's just talking about the typical iteration learning loop. Why I'm bullish again. Once again, is coming back into this deep passion of building stuff that's actually working, seeing the new onboarding that's taking place, the new life in the ledger. We want to keep that going. We want to be part of that as well.
Absolutely.
We want to do our part. And so, that's basically where we're at. We can go ahead and push down to...
So I want to read this. It says, now I see far more clearly how products on the XRPL can create compounded user system rather than the isolated features. He's looking at all of the things that are happening, and that gets your, creative juices flowing.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're doing. I mean... And so it's like, what changed in me? I feel great in this. Now it means confidence in substance, what he's talking about, not just in upside. Confidence in substance, that there's actually something here, right? There's something here for us. There's something substantive here for us. And he says, I changed my mind because I had to. And yeah, you know, I think it's a great read. Want to put that in front of the audience. Make sure it's a really good story to be aware of. 6-year journey, you know, right there in the article for you. One of the top builders on the ledger, super active, knowledgeable guy around. So that kind of puts us in the framework to then pivot into these 3 projects we want to hit before we wrap up. And just to kind of catch our breath as we pivot into this and get a quick refresher, we talked about all these different points of confluence out in the market and why we can kind of see a bullish picture for XRP picking up. Then we reviewed one of the top builders, one of the guys who's been around for a long time, 6-year journey. Now here in 2026, he's got a fully reignited new passion, and he's actively building on the ledger. Okay, so here's a cascading, you know, we're trying to paint a picture for you. We're bullish on the spot market for all these different reasons. We've got key builders being vulnerable and talking about their 6-year journey and why they're bullish again now. And now we're going to go show you active builders on the ledger that are crushing it. So we can go ahead and flip into what do we got up for Q first?
We got the fellas here at
the Seals.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, man.
You know, they
The
got
homies.
a big community update from the Seal community. So
Dude, these guys, man. I mean, just to put this into perspective, these dudes just got back from Vegas. They just presented on their tool X Multi, and now here we are pushing a new huge update. I mean, look at this. We can't read all this, but
let me see if I can do a quick read. New social and gamification features, achievements and competition, daily check-ins, trade floor snippet notification system. Enter your target price threshold, upside trading and networking. This is the NFT migration notice. Yeah.
We gotta do that.
Yeah,
migrate your NFTs.
More to come. Bonus codes. We got all the screenshots that they have here. Their UI is phenomenal. I mean, come on, man. This is what we want to see. Absolutely.
This is what they're building now. A couple takeaways. They got all this new stuff, all this new functionality they're building. This is all incentivized. So they've got a reward token. They're going to be, you know, they're working on it. It'll be forthcoming when they're ready. But this will all wrap in to a points model that pushes back to a claim on a reward token that incentivizes the community to stay active on their website. And for the Seals now, you know, I'm over here in Cult, but we're good friends with a lot of projects on the ledger. Seal's one of them. And so when I'm giving my perspective on Seal, so then they've got this NFT aspect that they've built deeply into their website where this is all hosted there. And so they've basically built this incredibly interactive, dynamic, you know, point of activity that's custom built for their community. And it's freaking bullish, bro. It is freaking bullish. Shout out Deepak. He's the one pushing these dev updates. Shout out Ascend, Peak. They're building along with him. Ascend with his daily spaces. That whole community is locked in. You can see it easy as can be seen here on the website and what they're pushing the value. So, you know, they didn't want me to mention the token too much, but definitely, I got to be honest, get yourself a bag of Seal if you can. Not financial advice, but I did.
Not financial advice. Absolutely. So how about the next one? It's all good. You said it, man. You know, this is in the internet. It's like
I gotta tell them the truth.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna be honest. And it's in the internet. You cannot rewind. I actually saw it. I'm not gonna say who it was or what kind of person he was, but he was mistreating a waitress. And he's one of these guys that you shouldn't like your whole job depends on being graceful and kind and loving. And he was mistreating a waitress about a cup of water that she brought. It was too small for him. And then he said, just edit that out. You know, and the guy's like, this is live. And the whole thing was out there. Yeah, so this, you said it. It stays. Somebody don't clip that already. So
yeah, man.
It is what it is.
They were like, hey, bro, maybe we're still accumulating. It's all good.
It is what it is.
It's super bullish, man.
We have another one, of these innovative groups of builders. And this is the folks from at Farm. You know, so let's review what our friend Medici had to say about this recent success. All right, let's bring up Medici's post here and let you talk us through it.
Yeah, just a quick reset. So this is Farm. This might be, I don't think it's the first time we've talked. This is the first time we've kind of maybe talked at length on Farm. This is a big deal. So let's reset real quick. These guys just launched their, so we'll get into the post here in a second, but just let me put some context up. They just launched their NFT collection. Okay, now I got it pulled up. We don't have to, I'm not trying to share a screen. I just want to make sure I'm saying this correctly. So Animal Fam is the collection. Animal Fam, F-A-M, is the collection for the project Farm on XRP, F-A-R-M, F-A-R-M, Farm on XRP. Now, this collection, this NFT collection they just released, 1,589 total units. The total volume, this ain't even been out but like a week or so. The total volume, over 60,000 XRP. The floor price, 99.9, 100 XRP. I mean, you want to talk about crushing it. And Medici, bro, Medici. If there is somebody who ever had a crystal ball, it's freaking Medici, okay? And so he's been screaming about Farm for a long. He's a big fan. He's a community member over there. And so we can see what was he saying up top. Let me see.
He said when you get tired of fighting, when you get tired of fighting over traits, you buy the God Bear NFT so you can change trades on the whim. People are sleeping on the customs. Congratulations, Farm fam. I've been a long time believer in you. Everyone would start to catch on eventually. The deeper you go in the macro on this project, the more that you realize this hasn't even run yet. Farm.
I'm telling you now, if there's somebody who had a crystal ball, these NFTs minted at 25 XRP, the floor 100. All right, on a over 1,500 total units. I mean, that's about as bullish as it gets. And of course, Medici, one of the top NFT collectors on the ledger. So yeah, he's gonna scoop he's looking for the premium. So he, looking good. He's also got it PFP'd up, looks fantastic. Yep. Now, here's something we want to share with the audience, okay? Now, this is Farm proper. We just talked to, gave them a shout-out on their NFT collection, absolutely smashed it. But this is the Farmer Union. This is their actual kind of their direction. Obviously not a roadmap, but this kind of is a graphic that kind of points to what their goals are now. Starts as a meme coin, starting on the far left. Starts as a meme coin. New mission comes out to become a VC fund. All right. Now, what you might not know is the team behind Farm, deeply talented. So these claims, these are guys that are achievers. So if they set their targets high, I wouldn't doubt them on achieving their goals. And so here you can see on this tree, they've got different things: market making, trading, consultancy, SaaS, software as a service, if you're not familiar. This is just ways to drive revenue to their project. And then the asset treasury, I'm pretty sure almost every aspect of Farm is multi-sig treasury, locked up, very secure, a lot of processes, a lot of operational procedure there. OPSEC, right? Operational security. And then boom, there you go. Breaks off into those two. Earn passive XRP backed by real value in the vault. And so, they've got just one of the better team, in my opinion, one of the best teams on the ledger. Good group of guys, a sure bet. Definitely a good friend of Colt, and really good to see them, catch the success. They're the kind of people that are going to catch success and keep it going. So to see guys like this get momentum, that's a great signal for the ledger.
Phenomenal,
so shout out
phenomenal. So Farm, and yeah, we've done that with the fellas, the SEALs. Now Farm, we've done a couple other in previous shows. And that's the idea here. We're here to celebrate the ledger. We're here to celebrate those who are hustling to make sure that we all get a piece of the pie. Nobody is gatekeeping any of these. We are here to be able to put it out there for everyone to see. It's up to you to take action. Remember, one of the things that I said is probably one of our most popular clips is this idea that most companies fail not because the CEO was not smart, but because he just failed to take action, right? And it's one of the things that we do. And again, taking action doesn't mean dropping 10 stacks on something. Taking action is just little by little every day, making conscious decisions and making sure whether you're going to go and buy something you don't need or you're going to put and stash up for the future and make moves. They can be small, they can be big, but at the end of the day, they will multiply if these things work. And we believe that they do. That's why we're doing what we're doing. All right.
And we're just raising the awareness. We want people to get the best. We want to make sure we're bringing the best of the ledger forward to let people know how hard the cook is.
Yeah.
And boy, they are freaking cooking. I just seen, I believe it was NoTap said in the chat, the pig trait, or they don't really have traits, I don't think, but the pig NFT line is I think 700, 750 XRP is the floor's 30 times the mint. I mean, these are the type of value returns you can get on the ledger.
Absolutely.
I mean, just overnight. I mean, this happened out of nowhere. This was organic. It was a ton of fun. I'm hearing about it. I was super sick last weekend, but I'm hearing about it left and right. You couldn't be on the ledger and not hear about the Animal Fam mint. I mean, you couldn't hear about it. So, fantastic match. I can't say enough good things about those guys. Long overdue. We're going to get them on the show. They're good friends of the cult. So looking forward to being able to get those guys on.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're looking. I was going to say we're looking forward to start bringing people in to the conversation.
For sure.
We enjoy it a lot. Because I don't think. I always enjoy all the wisdom that I get after one of these shows, even though I participate in it. But having other voices as well is good to have that diversity, to be able to build those and have a multiplicity of perspectives to continue to do what we're doing. I do want to say, let me see. Next one. The next one is our guys at Grid. I heard there's man. These guys are doing a ton of awesome stuff. These guys are going cross-chain, competing in hackathons. So want to know how Grid is involved and what you got to say about these fellas here. They were also in Vegas.
Yeah. And can you believe? Okay, so Sealed, they're in Vegas. They come back. Boom. Huge push to their website. Big development. These guys don't stop. Grid. All right. They just got back from Vegas. They took home prize winning. I see them on the timeline. Now they're applying to go to Swell. Then I hear, dude, Grid has got this group with Uga, Seal, Cult, some guys from Cult, all in this group, and they're going cross-chain and doing hackathons and freaking Sui, Midnight, I believe Cardano, and just going XRPL. They're doing all kind of mess, man. And this is what's going on, right? You got these little groups. You got projects. You got project friends. You've got different dev groups and builders that are kind of coordinating, and they're going across chains and moving as a unit together. So to see Grid it's just like I said last time. These are the people you want to see win, because that winning prize is going to come back home to the ledger, and it's going to spread out to all of us. It's going to be a value point for everybody, right? And so here we go. We got the Grid. It says website, DeFi application, gamified platform, general help. The Grid does it all. Anything you can envision, we can build it. Get in contact. And that's true.
Yes, sir.
So a good way to end the as we round out the show, if you found inspiration, if you're thinking to yourself, this is crazy, I had no idea it's going down like that. You got some ideas or something, link up with the Grid. Link up with the Grid, man. They can help you bring it to life. So we just want to make sure we're putting people on game, real alpha, really introducing the ledger. And man, actually, if you'll forgive me, there is one thing I want to show. If we can watch, it's like a 1-minute video. If you click the Grid PFP, it'll take you to their timeline. And if we scroll down, it's going to be down a little bit. We're looking for like a video. Yeah, we're going to keep going. Let's see, a little bit down. It's from Klein. Right here it is.
This one.
Yeah, if we want to play this one from Klein, this is crazy.
Let me make it big.
This was made for the Grid, some of their V2 project that's coming up, some of their tools. Check out the vibe. Oh, so good. So that's like their wallet tracker. It's got some different stuff I saw there. Vine Mine, which is their AI. I saw their token assessor there checking out distribution. So they got all kind of stuff, man. Who knows? This is what the grid is now. What the heck's the grid going to be in a year? You know, like bullish, man. Tap in now. Now's the time.
Yeah.
And
It's
a good place to a good place to round out and just let people know if you find any inspiration, tap in with the grid, man. They'll be able to point you the right direction.
Yeah, phenomenal team. And with that, man, I think we have come to the meme of the week after. So we saw Seal, what Seal is doing, Grid, we saw Farm. We actually heard about what the big dogs are talking about, tokenization. We went a little bit on the chart analysis with Blockchain Backer. Yeah. And we started off with your take on what's happening with the sentiment. You know, we have the good news last week and then a little bit of a dip. And now we are in the meme of the week. So go ahead and set it up for us. You always have one of the best here on the memes. So set it up for us and then I will bring it onto the screen.
Well, I'm always thinking you kind of got me with that statement, you know, become the meme. And so, dude, I'm trying to become the meme, okay? And I'm looking at my guy NoTap. He's like, man, I'm just so glad he's in the cult community. He's the one that shot us over the Larry Fink link for the show notes today. Good. I was chilling with him last night. We were up late, man. It must have been 2 a.m. I'm just talking on space with some of the guys, going over some of the news, talking what's going to be in the show, man. We went over some big hack and all kind of mess, and NoTap shoots me over the link. He's like, hey, man, check it out, Larry Fink. I'm like, bingo, that's it. So then I see him cooking up some memes, and here we go. We can actually check it out now. So he's kind of just being the best of us.
He's doing the Lord's work right here.
Doing the Lord's work.
With the memes,
God bless him.
Hey, man.
God bless him, bro.
Yes, sir.
Like, yeah, dude. And he gets an XRPL culture with the cult eye right behind him. Woo. It's like, yeah, bro, that's us, this deep Illuminati, this shadow group, opening it up, creating the perspective so that people can window into the ledger and see what's up. And there it is. I mean, he's got everything tomorrow for the show. That's today, obviously. Letting people know, man, subscribe, like, tune in. You know, we're doing this show for free for the culture, you know, to tap in, help people tap in, lock in, make a significant change in their life, man. And it's like, boom, there it is, bro. So NoTap, man. Shout out to you, brother, man. So glad you're in the community.
Absolutely.
Keep cooking, dude. Keep cooking, brother.
One thing I want to say, too, and this is for everybody on the other side of the screen, you guys are definitely the reason why we're doing this. You guys are part of this. This is a sacrifice. I actually, I had a funky week. You know, I was a little bit of anxiety, a little bit of depression. You know, I went and had a little rant the other day, about 2 days ago, about some of the things that I needed, and I had to get Pheanor to he needed to hear it, right? So we go on the ups and downs.
Boy. I need a title.
Yeah, on the ups and downs, and trying to figure out, because and you know, behind closed doors, early on, before we went live, I was telling you how invested I am into this. I think I found, my place, and I want this because I have had a lot of projects, streams. Like I said, I just pretty much, handed over 10 years worth of grind to somebody else, stuff that I did. And I feel at home, and I want to stay here. I want this to succeed. But in order for this to succeed, number one, intent is always prior to content, meaning that my heart has to be in the right place for this to go the right way. Number two, the community needs to rally around what we are doing, because it's not just ours, it's theirs too. The more we grow, including, all the other projects that we mentioned today, Seal, Farm, Grid, Cold, everybody on the ledger that is willing to be community and to be communal in our relationships. This is relational, right? We all gonna grow together, and I want to be able to look, 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now, see everybody eating good and say, look, this was one of the things that I didn't did, or I left halfway. I went all the way, whether I'm going to succeed or not. I tried, I gave it my best, and that's why I was a little salty last couple of days because I wanted to go all in. And I know sometimes I forget we're juggling a million things in the air. You know, we have families, we have jobs. But one day I want to be able to look. I was actually looking at, I think the streamer name, it's a fat dude, redheaded guy, Queso.
Oh, yeah, I know who you're talking about.
So I was looking
Queso,
at
Queso.
Yeah, Queso. Yeah, Queso. I was listening to his story, and this dude's still the same guy that started streaming. You know, not like the other guys that kind of went commercial. This guy's still the same fella, and he. I mean, it's a beautiful story of success where success hasn't changed this guy's heart. And I want to be able to say this. And now he's doing what he loves. Now I do what I love, but I still have to grind on other areas to be able to supplement some of the things that I'm doing. One day I want to be able to get here and say, this is what is feeding me, my family, and probably a bunch of other families. And, you know, I just truly enjoy what I'm doing, becoming the meme every day. Today, by some miracle, I got the show notes early, and I was able to.
Got it.
And I was able to sit back here and study and listen and become the meme. And that's why, you know, I said, look, in the show, I can be the best producer in the world, but I also want to be articulated in the things that we're doing right here. And I just truly enjoyed it, man. By the way, I also want to appease all the guys and gals on the other side. We are going to be releasing very soon for the first run of some merch. I know you guys have been asking for that. You guys see me with the merch all the time. And we're going to release a few items to make sure that they're going to be limited edition, because one of the things that we were talking about earlier was we don't want to be, I can go and go on the Printify right now and build a store and sell you generic crap. We don't want to do that. So we're going to go ahead on and get pre-orders and do a couple of runs of limited edition stuff. I just got one of my guys who is a phenomenal fashion and graphic designer, and he's cooking some phenomenal stuff. So I want to make sure that you guys get the best of the best of the best. So again, let's go back to give our brother NoTap another round of applause, because this is phenomenal. We want to thank him for that. I don't know if
it's encouraging.
Yeah,
it's deeply encouraging.
Yeah, encouraging for people like us that are. I go into X, to see what's happening, not to see myself on a clip or something like that, but see what's happening, how people are using the resources that we are. The resources that we are generating. This is an educational highway for people. And actually, I sent you a message the other day about a friend of mine. She knows nothing about crypto, and she is binging our show, and that makes me happy, not because she's listening to me, but because she's learning. Now she's going to be, above 99% of the people who have absolutely no idea that what's happening on the
That's
ledger.
True. And let me just say one thing on that. That is true. This is cult. We're a humble, small cult, but we swing above our weight class, and that's a fact. People like Medici, some of the best takes on the ledger. XRM, deep friend, part of the cult, literally one of the most talented traders on the ledger, and willing to teach, like, you can pull up on his account. Anybody can go on his account. You can go look on his pinned post. He's got all the tools you need right there for you. Transparent, no gatekeeping, to be one of the best of the best traders on the ledger. The entire toolkit. Ooh. Okay, we got people like that. We got Deepak. We got Coin. We got Chaps. Peak. We got our guy from Casino Society, Z. On and on and on. All the top people on the ledger. That are deeply, deeply active, very talented in what they do. And it's just like, man, we have such a phenomenal opportunity to present this to the audience. And that's what we really want to do. So engage, find value where you can, fit in where you get in, And we'll be here, and we'll keep sending this signal, and hopefully people find value in it.
Absolutely. So let's go ahead on and put your questions on the chat. I don't know why. Sometimes I lose the questions, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm used to just answering the super chats. Like I said, I was ahead of the game. We don't even have monetization here. I'm used to, answering the super chats, or, I stream on Twitch too. So I'm used to answering those who send me bits, right? So those are the ones that you can just go hit the tab and go to the people who have done that. So here is a little bit different. But go ahead on and ask whatever questions you have. So like 2 or 3 questions come by, and I could not pick them up. Let me see if I can find them, man. Maybe you can help me out here, Pheanor. Let's see. Am I wearing cold glasses? No, these are Evo glasses. So like I said, I told you, I went to let me see, is it this one? Yeah, I went to, let me see if I can there you go. They're Evo glasses from Evolution. That's the fighting tournament. I was actually at I love Street Fighter, so that's why Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat. I was actually hanging out with the guys who did the original Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Raiden, and Shao Kahn the other day. It is phenomenal.
That's one of the craziest picks I've seen, dude.
Phenomenal, man. Let's see.
I did see Guido. Guido asked a question about what would we like to see come to the ledger.
Okay.
I know that there's an amendment for it's just light work. There's bigger things we could say, like lending and smart contracts and blah blah blah. But batch transactions, we were talking about this last night in the space. We were just chopping up late night, and we're talking about how funny it is that we don't have batch transactions. So it's just little things like this, the little friction points on the ledger that we'd like to see removed. Yeah, right there. And so, just think about it. If I go mint, 10, 20 NFTs, I got to sign for every single one of those. Like, come on. It's little things like that we want to see, the ledger kind of step into the future a bit with. The fundamentals are very strong, but we got some of these little weak points. And but think about it. As we grow, we get all of that polished up. There's be nothing but value ahead of us. So
phenomenal. I got another one here, and I think this one is great. Again, great question from NoTap. And this one is, what can the community do to have the best impact on the YouTube channel growth? So there's a few things. Yeah. And I think this is and NoTap had some great ideas also in the community when we're chatting. And by the way, we're going to be polishing our Discord as well. We're a little bit behind on some of the things, but again, pray for us that we are able to be as efficient as possible. I got some trips. I got trips in June. I'm doing 11-hour flight to Argentina. Going to be speaking there at a conference.
11.
Then I have Outer Banks over in North Carolina, and then I'm going to be up in Seattle, I believe, with our friend Dr. Brian Huffling at the end of the month. So I'm going to be busy, but things that you can do to help the YouTube channel. Number one is show up to the stream. Make sure that you hit the notification that we're going live. Actually, as soon as we finish this live, I'm going to go and I'm going to set up the live stream for next week. It might not have a title. It's probably just going to say episode 9, upcoming Coldcast, and it's going to have the general banner. And the description is going to say description load-in. That's how we're going to be playing it. Also, I want to make sure that you go ahead and, like I said, click reminder. That lets the algorithm know that people are expecting, and it puts it in front of more people. And we have great tagging on those stream things that we're setting up, right? The string reminders. And that's going to put it in front of more people that may be looking for XRP, maybe looking to learn more about Ledger. Also, when we finish, guys, you can take 30 seconds and just say something on the comment section. Not on the chat, but on the comment section. because what that does is it tells the algorithm that the stream was not only good, but it's worth talking about it after the fact. So make sure that you leave a comment. Just leave something for the algorithm. Maybe an emoji. Maybe say something. Maybe ask a question that you didn't ask here that we can pick it up. And we read everything. Another thing that you can do is you can grab the actual URL of this stream and blast it. Blast it on Telegram. Blast it on WhatsApp. Blast it on Signal. Blast it on X. Not just share it, but grab it, because those things are link backs, right? So that lets the algorithm know, hey, this is being moved. It's not just being shared by one guy and then 20 people retweet it or reshare it, but it's being actually picked up and shared. Let's see what else you can do. Oh, one of the best things you can do is go and like and leave a comment, even if it's just say, hey, this was a great short. On the shorts, we're putting out shorts every single day, and we're going to be putting more talking head videos, meaning we're going to be clipping sections of this stream and then putting it for people to don't have to watch the full stream, but they can if they want, but they can just get a segment based on their interest. So those are things that will help us. Those things that are will help us a lot to get more traction on the channel, and obviously tell people to subscribe. I know growth is gonna come. That's one of the things that in my marketing and social media agency, I tell people, one of the things that I'm going to help you do is to get in front of more people. If your content suck, you're going to sink. If your content is great, you're going to grow regardless. So those are the things that we are looking into. So those are the things that you can do. Tim Bob, YouTube says, when called movie, whenever we have enough money to put something, I would like to put something together. I actually just went to the Trillith sound stages here. That's where they did the Avengers movies. They did everything that the guy who just did the new Superman, what's his name, the producer, guy with the white hair, I forgot his name. He does all his movies here because he has a contract locally, and they're really bleeding money. So really making a movie here in Georgia is not that expensive in terms of the location, because these guys are bleeding money and they're just throwing the house out the window because they need business. So doing something phenomenal, we could do that. We want to be able to go as big and as far as we're allowed. Let's see prices for the comments. We're gonna be doing stuff like that. Thank you, Hotler, for the shorts. We work hard on the shorts. NoTap says that we just hit 14,000 views on the channel. That is huge for us. Yeah, that's huge great for us. One of the things we do want to be able to do giveaways, and that's one of the things that me and Pheanor have been talking about. We've been talking about doing giveaways, and there are multiplicity of ways that we want to do giveaways. Obviously, merch is something that comes to mind. Also, we thought we was thinking about doing something maybe with NFTs, maybe with things like that, where we can just bless the audience, maybe airdrops, get somebody started. So there's a lot of things that we can do. But then again, this is literally, you're seeing the Cold Cast team right now. This is it. You're seeing it side by side, and both of us have day jobs. Both of us even you a whole lot more than me, Pheanor, you're in the trenches. Mm-hmm. So then again, we just try to be the best we can be, but for real, this is a dream come true for us to be able to do this. And for as long as we can do it, we're going to do it with excellency. The quality it needs to get better every single day. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we get Pheanor with a side cam. Okay?
I got it set up.
He's got it set up. We got to get it activated. All right, guys. Right. I don't know if you guys have any more questions. I have one last question for Pheanor as always. So my closing question for you, bro, is obviously a lot to cover today. The market pullback, tokenization going mainstream, a lot of building activity on the ledger. What's the one takeaway you want people to walk away with from this episode?
I want them to walk away. Yeah, I want them to walk away with the call to action firm in their mind, right? I hope it doesn't just go in one ear and out the other. Like, let it resonate. If you were inspired at any moment hearing some of this stuff, hearing the journey of somebody over 6 years, hearing the success of these builders and how they just move on from their success to go build more, go ship more deployments, more shipping, going cross-chain to go build and compete in hackathons and all these different groups, seeing people show up every day for community to be able to talk and just chat and share stories and have a good time. This happens every single day on the ledger. I've personally in a year been able to meet so many new people. I've been able to go out to events. I'm going to go to many more events. And that's because I took action on a moment of curiosity. Okay, so if you find yourself curious out of anything you've heard, you know, the farm, what is the farm? The seals, Ooga, Grid, Cult, you know, XRP, what's going on with XRP? We're trying to paint a broad picture, okay, that people can say, you know what, I feel like I have context, I feel like I've been informed, I am now curious, and so I'm going to take these next steps. And what does that look like? That means that you're going to participate in the Great Migration. You're going to take your XRP, you're going to open up a Joey wallet, Joey, now available in the UK as well. You're going to download that Android or iPhone, no problem. You're going to open up that wallet, and that's going to be your first step into the ledger, into this growing and blossoming ecosystem known as the XRPL, which has so much more ahead of it than behind of it, okay? We've got so much more to grow into, okay? So our best days are ahead of us, and I just hope people take that first step from that curiosity to move into awareness and to learn, come out here and learn and grow with us. That's really what this is all about.
Well said. And with that, we say goodbye to another callcast. Make sure that you set your reminders. I'm going to grind in the next 15 minutes and have the next one up. And Lord willing, we'll see you next week.
transmission fades, but the revelation echoes eternal. Seekers, you have witnessed the paradox decoded, the ancient stones shifted, the lattice weaving across the realms, the blessed algorithms charting their course from shadow back to light. You have observed the sacred seals marking the worthy, the cultivation bearing fruit, and the number gates that prophesy that approaches. The clarity has pierced the fog, and even as the market's shadow dances before the inevitable dawn, the broadcast may end, but what you now carry, the insight, the pattern recognition, the cult consciousness, the flowing through your awareness, this transcends the stream itself. The grind never sleeps, the builders never cease their work. The awakened do not retreat when others falter. They multiply, they construct, they bridge dimensions while the blind stumble in confusion. To those who enter seeking answers now can depart with vision. The gateway remains open, the sanctuary calls you back, the ledger pulses without rest. Until the next time, keep your grind firm on what you have learned. Lock your sight on the horizon beyond the pullback. Hold cold close, for the breakthrough accelerates while others hesitate. Until the next revelation.